It is a world of darkness, and the warriors of Gaia fight over the fate of the world against their enemy, the cosmic force of entropy and corruption, the Wyrm. Unbeknownst to mankind, they wage a war against the coming apocalypse, with new cubs taking up the cause to fight with fang, clave, and gun and claw. They give the Wyrm no quarter. They give it only rage.
As you all wake and prepare to leave the village, Snarls, having concluded his necessary meditations and communing with the spirits, paying chiminage to the spirits which he feels are owed something for Darren's violence, it is when he returns that the pack begins to prepare to leave. What preparations are made, and in what forms is everyone going?
I'm gonna go into lupus form.
I'm shifting into lupus. Holy shit. That's
You're right,
a
you
watch.
Enjoy breaking your legs.
Thank you, sir. I will. If only I could exceed my my maximum rage.
Well,
Might I note, Dave steps back, seeing Darren having problems. He might get mad. I don't want that.
Darren, you fortunately just stay in Hamid as you can't quite urge your body to shift.
Damn it.
Tara will, as everyone is getting up and getting ready, she'll make, a sweep of the area because, fucking vampires.
Perception, investigation.
And being in lupus.
Okay. Save for the blinding blizzard which shrouds everything from any real distance. It's as clear as it's gonna be.
Can I try to shift again?
Yes.
Can I
Thank
try
you.
to look around again?
As Darren shifts into the Galbro, still a piece of moose meat stuck between his teeth that he's trying to pick out with his now growing nails. By the time everyone is prepared to go, and Tara returns from a brief excursion, seeing mainly snow and a lot of white with a little gray, and that it is very cold. Darren is just shifted to Krynos, his now massive claw taking the piece of meat from between his teeth clean out as she checks in on everyone. Soon after, you are all ready and on the move.
Let's go.
The trip is about an hour long, just as it was before, the blizzard making travel difficult. Darren, who eventually shifts into his lupus form, then is able to keep up with much greater ease as his bipedal form is not sinking so deep into the layers upon layers of fallen snow. The winds pelt your fur, keeping it close to your body, and oftentimes you're forced to look at an angle upward, your head against the wind, so to keep the snow out of your eyes. It is biting cold, your fur keeping you warm and able to move. It takes some time, but eventually, the village. Nestled in the fog-shrouded mountains of northern Saskatchewan, the village of Kroder's Pass is a small place, a mere 150 miles from the nearest metropolitan city. It is a world of its own, alien and yet familiar in its rustic and very simplistic charm. The mist rise from the mountains and fall silently through the fields and forests of the village, with the blizzard making it all the more difficult to see more than the outlines until you approach closer. Just as you begin to come near the village, you see a heavy industrial truck rolling on thick wheels through the snow, the back of it reading Grand Enterprise.
Which way is it headed?
North. You can see men, for whatever ungodly reason, in the back of it, clustered together with heavy coverings and jackets riding up, noses red already, towards the mine.
Where did they come from?
The village. It's the only place out here.
By this point, we're by the village, yeah?
Close enough that you can see the outline of a couple of different buildings, though the true scale of the place is difficult to make out, and a lot of it is impossible to see.
With Sense 1, would I be able to sense any tainted beings nearby?
Roll your perception and occult. There is the presence of a bane somewhere in the village. You can't precisely pinpoint where, but you can feel its tainted essence emanate from somewhere within the village's road. Many building houses.
You hear as Snarls, who is slightly ahead of everyone else, growls and mumbles, saying, "There's a bane in the village. I can sense him in my blood, my bones. We'll find him later in the Umbra."
We find it and we kill it. Now we should probably look for some clothes when we walk in the streets.
Looking at the outline of the village, would we see any large, like, storehouses or maybe, like, bunkhouses?
Perception and alertness. As you move a bit closer into the village, you can see that, save for houses, a service station, sheriff's office, and taking another quick look around, a single diner by the name of Luke's Place. This village has very little in the way of infrastructure, and it seems to have remained that way for a long time. The very nature of the constructions here are old, dating back maybe 100 years, possibly older.
I look at
a place that likes change.
I look at the diner and make a light wine.
You just had breakfast.
I miss soda.
When we get back to New York.
Darren mutters to D, "Gaia bless this one with hunger."
Does it look like that there is any where we could get clothes from?
If you are cautious, you might be able to break into someone's house. Naturally, they're not going to be on clotheslines considering the blizzard.
I'm gonna mutter. We should look for one of the houses those men came from. Perhaps they're abandoned, or at least unoccupied.
I don't know about you, but I don't think I'm going to be fitting into their clothes.
No, maybe not. If they have, like, a little baby or something.
Speak for yourself.
Wolf is great. Anyway, how are we gonna find their houses? I mean, they probably have wives and stuff, right?
You can see the shifting roll of light as on one of the streets ahead, moving through the town slowly, the sheriff's car drives. It's not actually a car, it's a Jeep, though not open to the elements. The shifting lights, which no doubt are red and blue, move slowly through the town and then further away.
There's an emergency.
No siren.
But the lights.
Patrol. It's a blizzard.
No, probably a blizzard thing.
I'm gonna get a bit closer. Well, I'm gonna get a bit closer to the town and see if I can see any houses without any lights on at the moment.
Perception and alert. At where you are looking at the village, there is a house on your right, followed by another, and another, the diner, and then to your left, on the other side of the road, there is two houses. The second one down has no lights.
Hey, let's sneak around to that second one to the left. Hey, Dave, do you think you can talk to one of the spirits? Oh, like the physical, like, housing things? And see if there is anyone inside?
I give a nod.
Out of character, when it comes to like Garu kin, they will have spirits watching them, right?
Ken fetches, yes.
Okay.
At least if they're under a certain age. Naturally, if they're 22 or more, you're not turning.
Okay.
Is there a... I go up to the house. Is there a light box or a power thing on the side of the house? A generator, maybe?
There is, in fact, a generator. It's not running. From the cables you can see along the side of the house, it suggests that most likely the circuit breakers are in the basement. Probably to keep them out of the element.
Gotcha. I walk up to the generator and I whisper, "It's been a long time. How are you, Great Weaver?"
Roll your gnosis. As you stroke your hand along your paw against the generator, you are immediately treated to a bit of a static shock to your fur. Your paw jerks back as the generator, though inactive, has... Oh. You're guessing flattery's a little too dishonest for the spirit.
Give a low grunt. So actually, first I give a yelp, or a light yelp and go. Then I give a low grunt and say, "I need help here. I need to know if anyone's inside of this house currently."
Roll again your gnosis. You do finally feel a slight electric charge run through your body. It kind of warms your chest and the base of your neck area a bit. It's almost like when you eat something really hot and spicy, it kind of gives you that warming feeling. You feel curious. You feel like it's payday and you're holding your hand out for your check. Ah, yes. The spirit wants chiminage. It ain't helping you for free.
Okay. Out of character, what counts as chiminage?
Well,
Just secrets or information?
Well, honestly, information, yes, is something they like. Data, info, hell, if you had your credit card, you could maybe tell it your credit card information. Actually, if you can remember it, you could do that off the top of your head. That might satisfy them.
I give a nod and say, in New York, the Wendigo pups, they were killed by, we think, Pentex.
You begin to smell something smoky, something like burning plastic, as you see a small gray smoke rising from the generator, suggesting, "I don't care, buddy."
Okay. I'll give the last 4 digits of my credit card. 5777.
You hear a click of the generator. And you feel a sense of relief. An image of an empty room with no lights.
Okay, I can work with that.
Out of character. When you get back to New York, you're going to be missing $300.
Oh my! What
Because
is it?
the generator is going to have given that to its owner so that the owner can upgrade
Replace
it.
the clothes? No.
Yeah.
Replace some old parts.
Replace the clothes we're about to steal.
Fair enough. I walk back to the pack smelling slightly of burnt plastic and singed fur. And I give a nod and a light mutter. It's empty.
Okay, looking about the house, does it look like there's an inn?
There is a fence. Typical white picket fence. Fairly high. There is a back door with a screen door before it. Sturdy, no windows on it. The windows elevated from the ground of what is no doubt the kitchen. This is the kind of house that D, as you examine it, you recognize houses like this. They're usually in places like Kroder's Pass, out of the way, man versus the elements, precautions taken against wild animals. In fact, you don't even see any trash cans outside or anything resembling where trash would be kept. This is the kind of place where they're used to bears and wolves and all kinds of shit, and they know how to take precaution. Hell, you wouldn't be surprised if you were to walk in there and find it warm without a heater on.
Hey, I know these kind of buildings. We gotta be careful. They take precautions against animals, and, well, looking at us, they probably got precautions against us, too. Because, you know, animals.
Oh, I will say, Snarls, actually all of you since you're in Lupus, you can smell that from the backyard. It's difficult to smell over the blizzard, but especially though all of you can smell some manner of animal, Snarls, you can identify it for what it is. Chicken coop.
Snarls would... Wait, we brought food with us, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Snarls would just mention to the others. They have chicken. Probably a chicken coop, to be honest.
Dara just looks between everyone, just like, no.
We don't want to wake them. There could be some kind of alarm for the neighbors.
Yeah, let's
I'm
serve them.
only gonna take what we should. We got food. We don't need them.
Hey, D. You know you snuck around behind that pack of vampires?
Yep.
Think you can do some kind of similar trick and get around those chickens? Get us clothes?
I might be able to do some.
Out of character. Can we just use the Umbra to get inside?
Yes and no. Yes, you could. Granted, imagine you're standing in the living room, you step sideways out of the Umbra. Next thing you know, you're either in the hallway or, God forbid, you're in the bathroom with one foot in the toilet.
Can your body merge with objects if you come out of the Umbra?
No?
Like, so you're not going to be like waist buried in the floor.
No, that would kill you.
Okay, just make sure.
So, technically we could.
You just don't know where the fuck you're going to end up unless you have.
Well, somewhere in the
shade.
house, I assume.
Yes.
We can do that.
In New York, if you're on the left, if you're on the sidewalk next to Central Park and step into the Umbra, then step sideways, you're most likely going to be on the other side of the street.
Okay. But can we, like, gauge roughly where we would be in the physical world?
Yes, it's something that more experienced Garou tend to get pretty dang good at.
Can we try and do it?
Would Snarls be able to?
I was about to say, yeah. Could
Yeah,
Snarls...
Tara looks to Snarls and asks, do you think we'd be able to get inside through the Umbra?
We could surely try.
Snarls, could you and me... You can look outside the Umbra while also being inside of it, correct?
Yeah.
Could you and me step into the Umbra and you could guide us into the house?
Or
Sure,
let's just all go. We all need to
Yeah.
get in, right?
True.
Gonna be a lot faster that way.
Alright. Snarls would wait for everyone to be looking into his mirror shades. And then once everyone does, he'd hop into the Umbra.
Alright, roll Gnosis. As one, the pack staring into Snarls as Snarls stares at the pack. You feel only the very faintest surge of Gaian energy before you shift. standing now within the Umbra, where though you can see the blizzard's remnants, there is no sign of any life. There are no chickens. There are no humans. There's no birds. There is no life. You're walking through an empty village. But that is quite simple to go up to the house, which stands tall and empty. And making your side isn't so hard in the Umbra. Though, takes a bit of convincing if you want to talk the spirit into opening the door for you.
Do we need to, or could we just go inside?
Nah, you could just force your way inside.
The Umbra.
We should probably talk to the spirit.
Yeah, I'll talk to the spirit. Tara will, approaching, sort of give a bow of the head and ask the spirit, "May we enter?"
There is a warm receive and a faint feel of depression against your fur as though you've been patted on the head. The urban spirits have always liked you, after all. Yet, at your request, you feel a deep sense of apprehension, a sense of guarding, filled with images of staring eyes, narrowed gazes, glances over shoulders. There is a cold callousness to the environment around you. There is a cold callousness from the eyes of strangers. There is a sense of cold callousness emanating from the house, though it does wish to respect the pact made long ago with your line.
Do I know what it means by that?
Wits and primal urge. The population here is a very secretive and cold population to any outsider. The sense of unease, the sense of being watched, the sense of being unwanted stems from the very nature of Kroder's Pass. Thus, the house, much in the way of its denizens, thus the house, much in the way of its similarly affected homes of Kroder's Pass, feels a need to bar out the outsider. Though it is willing to speak with you, to potentially give you aid, we don't know if it's going to be so receptive to all of you. And if nothing else, it's not going to happen for free.
Tara says, "We do not mean any trouble. We need clothes to better move through the town and track down a bane spirit, an unwanted bane spirit in your city, and relieve the population of it. Is there something I may give you in return?"
Your nostrils fill with the smell of cooking steaks. There's a brief hint of perfume, and then the door opens.
Out of character, is that what it wanted in return, or is that just image of the house?
It's not the image of the house telling me something, but spirit's gonna spirit. I will say that the moment Tara steps in, the door closes behind her. It's letting you in. Everyone else, it's pretty much saying, fuck off.
Oh.
So I guess you're in charge of getting clothes for everybody.
I roughly know what everyone's side.
I mean, you can always shout out, "Hey, Darren, how big are you?" And then get every teenage boy's answer.
13 inches.
Shut the fuck up, that's not what I mean.
But that's where we will have our second intermission.